It looks like things are evening out, so I think we can go ahead and get started. Again, welcome in. This is the information session on the Master of Science in Data Science at Brown University. If we want to go to the next slide, we can start with some introductions. I can go ahead and start. My name is Bryce. I am a recruitment counselor within the Division of Masters and Professional Programs, and I'm joined here today by Andres and Maria.
Hi, my name is András Zsom. I am the Director of Graduate Studies for this master's program and also an assistant professor of the practice in data science. What that means is that I am managing the data science master's program as Director of the Graduate Studies. And as an assistant professor, I teach two of the mandatory courses in the curriculum.
Okay, great. Hi, I'm Maria Cardoni. I'm the Academic Programs Manager for the Data Science Institute and all of its academic programs. For this program, I work really closely with Andras on student support. So I mostly help students with academic tasks such as registering for courses, taking a leave if needed, applying for graduation and stuff like that.
Thanks so much. So if we want to move to the next slide, awesome. I will go over our agenda. So first things first, I will hand things over to Andras and Maria, and they will talk about the program structure, some of the curriculum highlights, as well as some prerequisites. And then I will cover our application requirements, information like deadlines, details on the personal statement and letters of rec, as well as our standard testing. And then we will have a Q&A at the end. Just to cover some housekeeping, if you are attending this session live, then you will be getting an application fee waiver that will be automatically applied to your account. There is nothing more that you need to do. Once you submit your completed application, you simply will not be asked to pay the application fee. We are also going to be doing Q&A via the Q&A function on your toolbar. So if you have questions throughout the session, please feel free to add them there. We might be answering some questions as we go, but we might be saving some for the end too, if we think that that is a great question for the larger group to hear. So we will get to your question. It is also going to be first come, first serve kind of answering. So if you submit your question more than once, that is only going to push you down the queue. So I don't recommend doing that. And if we want to go to the next slide, I will hand things over to Andres.
Cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I will give a short kind of introduction of the program and also talk about the prerequisites that we are looking for as we evaluate the applications. So we can go to the next slide, please. So first of all, the master's program is owned by the Data Science Institute at Brown University. So that's where the program is hosted. That's where the program lives. Having said that, we have very strong connections with other departments across the campus. For example, you will see that some of your courses are offered by the Applied Mathematics department and also by the Computer Science department. So you will also get to know students and instructors from these other two departments as well. The fundamental topics, I think what you would expect from a data science program. So we cover database engineering, machine learning, deep learning, statistics. I think where this program stands out from other programs is that we have a very strong emphasis on ethics and fairness and how to measure various different biases in machine learning models. So in almost all of your courses, there will be some ethical component, maybe in quizzes or problem sets or whatever. And there will also be a course which is dedicated to ethics and fairness. So that is a very strong emphasis. The other thing you should know is that we emphasize a lot experience, practical skills. In any given semester, you will only have a small number of courses to complete, typically 2 to 4 courses. And depending on where you did your undergrad, that might sound strange. Like in Hungary, where I'm from, we used to have like, I don't know, close to 10 courses per term. And compared to that, this is a very low course load, it might seem at first. However, in all of your courses, there will be weekly homework assignments, there will be final projects that you need to work on, potentially also exams as well. So it's not just about coming to the lectures. There will be lots of work to do outside of the classroom, working on the projects and the homework assignments. And this is how we emphasize experience in the program. So we can go to the next slide, please. So we only have a fall intake in this program. So students usually arrive by late August, so they can attend the various different orientations that we offer here at Brown. The program length is flexible. All students start at a 20 months program length by default. That sequence of numbers you see on the screen, the 22122, that describes how many courses you are expected to take in each of your academic terms. So you are expected to take 2 courses in your first fall, 2 courses in the first spring, 1 course during the summer, 2 in your second fall, and 2 in your second spring. This is just the default. This is how all of the admitted students start. But as I said, it's flexible. So we have a bunch of alternative timelines. You can also complete the program in 12, 16, or 24 months as well, if that's what you would like. At the beginning of every academic term, you can basically change this program structure and adjust according to your needs. We have the course info, the curriculum available on our website, but on the next slide, I will briefly walk through which courses we offer in which academic terms. So this is an example of a 12-month timeline. So you have 9 courses to complete in order to earn the degree. If you want to complete the program in 12 months, that means you have to take 4 courses in the fall, 4 in the spring, and 1 in the summer. So this is just an example. In the fall, we offer our 2 sort of intro courses, I would say. Those are Data 1030 and Data 1050. We ask all incoming students to take those 2 courses in their first academic term because they serve as a foundation to the more complex, more challenging courses in the program. So in Data 1030, that's one of the courses I teach this fall as well. In fact, we are in the middle of the midterm presentations for the 1030 course right now. Students will learn how to develop machine learning pipelines from scratch, from data collection to deployment. We mostly cover supervised machine learning models, and we focus on the Python ecosystem. So you will use packages like Pandas, Polars, scikit-learn, XGBoost, the SHOP package to make your models interpretable, etc., etc. The other course, 1050, is about data engineering. As you probably already know, data collection is very important for any kind of data science project. The quality and quantity of the data and how you store it, how you manage it is often the key for success in data science. So in Data 1050, you will learn about basic database engineering concepts, how to use SQL, how to manage redundancy of your databases, how to maybe merge, filter databases. All of these kind of systems are what are covered in Data 1050. Also in the fall, we have 2 other courses, Data 2060, which is machine learning theory. That is the second course I teach. This is a much more mathematical and computer sciencey course compared to maybe Data 1030. In this course, I explain during the lectures what is the math and what are the algorithms behind important machine learning techniques, important machine learning tools. And then the students implement those techniques in the homework assignments from scratch using just Python and NumPy and object-oriented programming. It's a really great course. I really love to teach it because we start with like simple linear models. We start with linear regression, logistic regression, half spaces. But by the end of the course, you will learn how decision trees, support vector machines, and also neural networks work. And you will implement them from scratch. So you will have a very deep understanding of how these techniques and models work. And also in the fall, we have APMA 1690. APMA is short for Applied Mathematics. So this is one of the courses which is offered by the Applied Mathematics department, computational probability. It's an advanced statistics and probability course focusing a lot on things like Markov chains, for example. In the spring, we have 4 other courses: Data 2020, Statistical Learning, where you will work in R as a programming language instead of Python. This is one of the courses where R is the required language. Then we have the Deep Learning course, CS 1470. We have Fairness in Automated Decision Making. This is our ethics course, dedicated ethics course. And the other course you might take in the spring is an elective course. This can be any graduate level course offered at Brown. And students usually have 2 different goals with their electives. First one is you might take an elective maybe at the CS department or Applied Mathematics to learn about a technique or a method that we don't cover too much in the data science master's program. So that could be maybe computer vision, natural language processing, well, these kind of things. The other goal is if you know in what domain you want to apply your data science skills at, you can take a course in that domain. So we have many students who take, for example, genomics courses or courses, the public health department, some sort of domain-specific course that will help you as you apply for jobs or maybe even PhD programs. And the 9th course we have is Data 2050. This is our capstone or practicum project. It is offered in the spring and summer terms. And so in this course, you can either arrange an internship for yourself to fulfill the capstone requirement, or the instructor also sources projects for the students, and then you can work on a sourced project within a small team of students. Either of these options are perfectly fine, and we support both. I think we can go to the next slide, please. Okay, prerequisite coursework. There are a couple of things that we look for as we evaluate your application materials. From your academic records, we look at the courses you took in calculus, linear algebra, some sort of probability and statistics course, and also a programming experience, usually in Python and or R is preferred. We mentioned some Brown equivalent courses on the right side of this table. Of course, we don't expect you to have taken those courses, but we put those course codes over there. So you can go to CAB courses at brown.edu, cab.brown.edu. You see the link down there. You can put the course code in there, and you will see a description of those courses and what kind of topics were covered. So this helps you to kind of judge, whether the topics in those courses were covered in the courses you took at your home university. With programming-related things, we don't necessarily expect that you took a programming course. If you completed an internship or an RA position and you used Python or R during that project, let us know on your resume, and then we count that as well for fulfilling the programming prerequisite. I think that's it. We can go to the next slide, please. A couple of other considerations which I think are important to know and to be aware of is that we also try to judge your communication skills as well as we look through the application. If you feel that you don't fulfill all the technical prerequisites, don't worry about it. I think you should still apply. We always consider exceptional students who lack maybe one technical prerequisite. I think that will be perfectly fine. A very important another consideration, if you completed internships and or research assistant positions, we highly recommend that your recommendation letters come from your supervisors or advisors. Those letters are extremely strong. Your advisor, your supervisor can write a very strong recommendation letter. They spend a lot of time with you, one-on-one time with you. So those letters are extremely valuable to us. Often applicants send letters from an instructor, which can be fine if you spend lots of one-on-one time with the instructor. Maybe you went to the office hours often, and so the instructor knows you very well. But if you are one out of hundreds of students in a large course, a recommendation letter from an instructor is usually not very valuable. They simply don't know you. They can talk about the grade you received in that class, and usually that's it. So letters from supervisors and advisors is highly, highly preferred, I think. I'm also happy to share that we are offering scholarships this year. These could be full or half scholarships, so either 100% or 50% of the tuition costs can be covered by these scholarships. Unfortunately, it's only available to US citizens and legal permanent residents. We might change that in upcoming years, but I think for now, it's only available to US citizens and legal permanent residents. There are merit-based and need-based scholarships as well. And please check out our website for more details how you can apply for these specifically. Next slide, please. I wanted to talk about outcomes. So that's about our alumni and where they work and what are some employment rates that we can calculate. So the way we track our alumni is that once a year, usually during the summer, which is a quiet period for us, we go through our alumni's LinkedIn profile. And we collect what is their current job title, which company they work at, and in which area or field that company is in. And as you can imagine, this is a bit of a messy data collection process because not everyone keeps their LinkedIn profiles up to date. We have alumni who graduated years ago. We know they work because we keep in touch with them, but their LinkedIn profile is still empty. It hasn't been updated since they graduated. So it's not a perfect way to collect data, but it's still, I think, pretty reliable. And so based on that, in this donut chart you see on the right side, we know that a bit more than 50% of our alumni work in finance or tech. There's also a relatively big chunk of students who work in healthcare, and grad means they applied for graduate programs, PhD programs after they completed our master's program. We have more info on the website about career outcomes. I highly recommend that you check those out for more information. Next slide. I think this is where I hand it over to Bryce. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Andres. Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the career support and professional development opportunities offered through the Division of Master's and Professional Programs. So we do have our Center for Student Excellence, and that is our professional development office, and they offer resources specifically to master's students, such as workshops for your resume and your cover letter, optimizing your LinkedIn profile. They do mock interviews. They do career fairs. They do different types of research events that are focused on what the career scope looks like based off of different programs and subjects. And then individual advising sessions as well. So anything from large groups to individualized, they try to offer it all. And then that career website is masterscareers.brown.edu, linked in the middle of the slide right there, but I'm also going to put it in the chat for everyone. There it is. And then beyond that, we also have lots of career fairs on campus. Once you are an enrolled student, so you have to apply. If you're admitted, then you choose Brown and say, yes, I'm going to attend. You enroll. You'll be able to access the website Handshake, and that is where job and internship opportunities kind of across Brown's campus are offered. And that's anything from like dining services and library and bookstore workers to specific research assistant positions that might be available. So that is the website where you're going to be able to find anything that is open. You're also able to connect with alumni if you see an alumni in Brown Connect, which is that service that maybe is following a career path that you also identify with and want to follow. Our alumni are really great and always willing to help out. And then each department has their own career advisors as well that you're able to find support from. If we move to the next slide, I can start going over our application requirements. Next slide, please. Awesome. So let's go over the application process. The deadline is February 1st of 2026, so you've got a little while to compile everything that you need, starting with transcripts. You can start with submitting your unofficial copy of transcripts. That is fine for the admissions review, but then once you are admitted and enrolled, before classes start, we do need to see those official transcripts from each institution that you have gained a credit at. And for international applicants or applicants who have attended institutions outside of the US, we do require a credential evaluation prior to class start. Something else we're looking for is your resume or your CV. We like to see kind of what you've done either professionally or while you've been in classes, any presentations that you've done within the subject, any publications that you might have, volunteer work, extracurriculars. You can include it all. With your personal statement, I will go into that one in a little bit more detail in a few slides, but these are short answer questions. And then your 3 letters of recommendation. As Andres said, we're really looking for recommenders who can give unique insight to your skill set. And then if your native language is not English, we do want to see a English language testing score. The qualifiers there are we're looking if your native language is not English and you have not attended an institution where English is the sole language of instruction, then we do require those tests. The TOEFL and the IELTS are the 2 tests that we accept. One of the ones that we get asked about a lot is Duolingo, and we do not accept the Duolingo. We only accept TOEFL and IELTS. And then make sure to list the courses that you have completed in the prerequisite areas, calculus, linear algebra, probability, and programming as well. Next slide, please. Great, so now we can go into the standardized testing a little bit. So like I mentioned, the TOEFL or the IELTS are required for anyone who is a non-native English speaker and who doesn't have a degree from an institution where English is the sole language of instruction. Another way to put that is if you are a native English speaker, then you don't need to worry about these. And if you have a degree from an institution where it was solely taught in English, then you do not need to worry about these. It's only if you don't check both of those boxes that you do need this. The minimum score for the TOEFL is a 90, and the minimum score on the IELTS is a 7.5. And the school code that they ask for on the TOEFL is the 3094. This is a great screenshotable slide for that information. And then the GRE is not required. Can we move to the next slide, please? Great. So what makes a great candidate? What are we looking for? When we review these applications, it is really in a holistic manner. We want to learn all about who the person is that is applying. So of course, academic readiness is one of the things that we're looking for, but GPA is not the only criteria here. We're looking at the grades in data science related areas, and your prerequisites specifically to show that you are prepared for the coursework that you will be taking within this program. Research and work experience, they're not required, but again, we do want to see anything you've been involved in to really show what your skill level is within the area. So if you have it, showcase it. In your personal statement, something that we really want to see are your specific goals. So make sure you're really looking at what kind of sparked your interest and what your short-term and long-term goals, and try to connect those directly with your program of interest. So how is the data science program going to help you reach your goals and get to where you want to be? As Andres spoke about, we are looking for those strong letters of reference. We're not looking for those lecture hall professors who are able to say, yeah, they got an A and it's a pretty hard class. That's not a great reference letter. We want someone who can say, yes, I've seen how this person learns directly and I see how they apply what they learn. And I can speak directly to their unique skill set. And this is why they're going to be a great asset to the program, but they're also going to be at that level of academic readiness to really take on this high level of coursework. Also mentioned the STEM prerequisites. We do have those standard introductory requirements of mathematics, statistics, and programming coursework. And then we want to see strong communication skills. I know we ask you some questions that may also appear within your transcripts or your resume. We're not asking you to repeat just those surface level details. We want to know the story behind it. We want to get to know you through your answers. We want to know you as a person, as I mentioned. But this is also going to be your writing samples. So we want things to be at a graduate level. Make sure that you're pre-reviewing your own writing and make sure there's no typos or grammatical errors, because this really is representing your highest level of self. If we move to the next slide, we can go ahead and start Q&A. So if you want to, again, put your questions in that Q&A toolbar, we will go ahead and start answering them. I also have questions from your registration. If you submitted questions beforehand, I do have that list of questions, so we will be asking those as well. So if we want to get started, this first question is, what are the opportunities outside of class at Brown that can help students grow their expertise as Brown emphasizes experience?
Yep. Yes, there were a couple of related questions about teaching assistantships and research assistantships as well. So I think we can maybe lump all of these questions together. Yes, so you can definitely do RA positions, internships, and you can also serve as TAs, teaching assistants in the various courses. So let me go through all of these opportunities, especially for international students. There are some limitations what you can and cannot do because of the visa requirements, right? So let's start with TA positions. It's relatively easy. At the DSI, we prefer that you complete a course first, and then a year later, you can become a TA. Other departments manage TA positions differently. If you want to TA at a different department, they might have different rules about this. But in our courses, for example, if you take 1030 and 1050 in your first fall, you can apply to TA those courses a year later during your second fall and as well. So I think that works really well. And then you can also be a research assistant at Brown. So, you can reach out to a faculty or a center and ask to meet with those faculty and ask if you can join in one of their projects. You will see faculty here are very friendly and they really love to work with self-motivated students. So it's always best to arrange these opportunities yourself. So you check departmental websites, center websites, and reach out to the people that you most want to work with. If you work at Brown, which means you are paid by Brown, work visa CPT is not required. This is why it's great for international students. You can do as many RA positions at Brown as you want. If you want to do an internship at a company as an international student, the typical kind of visa regulations apply. So CPT is always required for any kind of off-campus work, whether it's paid or not. if you are working, if you are physically in the United States, when you work for a non-Brown entity, you need a CPT visa or a pre-completion OPT visa, regardless of whether that's paid or not, regardless of whether that's another university or a nonprofit or whatever. The earliest you can get a CPT is your second term. So in the spring, you can already receive a CPT. The way this works is a bit different than most other programs, because in most other programs, it's the summer term when you can get your CPT for the first time. With us, you can get your first CPT in the spring term already. So if you arrange an internship for yourself for the spring, you completed the Data 2050 prerequisites, the capstone prerequisites, you can use that internship to fulfill the capstone requirements. And because of that, you can receive a CPT for it as well. Internships, we have how is it called, industry network in the area. So we invite our alumni who are in management positions at other companies to come back to the DSI, give presentations, do resume reviews, and when they are hiring for interns or for full-time positions, we will advertise those positions on our newsletter as well. Again, best way always is to be self-motivated and go out and grab those internships and RA positions yourself. It's always the best way to go.
So we've got some other questions here that were submitted. Will the coursework enhance knowledge in AI engineering?
Which question is that? I don't see. Oh,
I
that
just
came
have some
from.
questions from the
Oh, I see. Okay.
pre-submitted. Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yes. So in the deep learning course, Gen AI, large language models are topics that are included in those courses. We hope to have Gen AI specific course as well. Hopefully that will be offered by next year. We are hiring an new instructor for this purpose. And yes, we have a LLM course, natural language processing course that you can take as an elective as well.
Great. We've had a couple of other questions about electives and the possibility of taking courses from other programs. Could you speak a little bit on the possibility of that?
Yes, taking courses from other programs is great. So, as I said, there's an elective requirement that you need to fulfill, and that's when you can take courses from a different department. You can take courses. You can take any graduate level course at Brown to fulfill the elective requirement. It's really up to you what exactly your needs are with that elective. But many students take courses from CS or UPMA or biostats or public health. Genomics courses are very popular. So it really depends on what your personal interests are.
So back to our Q&A, what are some opportunities outside of class that can help students grow their expertise as Brown emphasizes experience?
Yep. RA, internship, TA positions. It's exactly those three things I already talked about.
Awesome. How much research work can I do at Brown as a data science student, and how early can I start? And then the second part to that is, can I do more than one capstone project?
Yes. So research work at Brown, you can start whenever, basically. I mean, you should be admitted to the program first. You should be an enrolled student at Brown. I think that is a prerequisite to do research projects here. But once you are admitted, once you are here in the fall, you can reach out to faculty and let them know that you are interested in working with them as an RA. Are there any projects that you could help out with? I think that's the best way to go. And you can start it in your first fall term because there is no visa requirement to do a research project at Brown. And so can you do more than one capstone? No, you can only register Data 2050 once. If you want to do a second internship with a different company, we have a course called Data 2980. This is an independent research course. You can register for that and get a second CPT visa for a second academic term. And you can count this special course as your elective. The only thing that will be required for it is you have to submit your offer letter from the company at the beginning of the term. And I will submit an A as a grade for you at the end of the term if I receive a letter from your supervisor that you have successfully completed the internship. That's how that course works.
Great. Our next few questions are about the prerequisites. One is about on the previous slide, it says there might be admission of exceptional students who have no less than one missing technical prerequisite. Could you expand a little bit on that?
Oh, yeah. Yes. So, we often see students coming from maybe non-STEM programs where maybe they don't have linear algebra or they don't have too much of programming experience. We still highly encourage those students to apply for the program. As I said, if only one prerequisite is missing, you should still apply and just see how it goes. We have it's difficult. But if you miss maybe multiple prerequisites, like if you don't have linear algebra and calculus, that would be difficult. The courses are very demanding. And the reason why the prerequisites are there is to ensure that you can successfully complete these courses. If you have no linear algebra and no calculus courses, you have not taken those courses, it's highly unlikely that you will succeed in these demanding, difficult courses.
Yeah. And then if some have completed a prerequisite course through a certification or through Coursera or edX, will that meet the prerequisite requirements?
Ish. It's difficult. Yes, we get this question all the time, and I don't have a good answer. We really prefer university courses because there is usually an exam or a final project or homework assignments. You earn a grade at the end of the course. With these Coursera courses or edX courses, what we see is that you have completed the course, but there is no exam at the end. We don't really know how much knowledge you actually retained from that online course. So, I would order these three things. Best is to have a university course with a grade. Second best is some online course, Coursera edX, and the third one is to not have the prerequisite at all, right? I think this is how you think about it. So online courses, Coursera edX is somewhere in between the other two extremes.
Great, thank you. Our next question, how is the student life of the cohort? Are there student organizations, case competitions, or hackathons, etc.?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. So we have a floor where students can hang out and study together and work on, team projects and whatnot. There are a bunch of student organizations at Brown in all sorts of fields and interests. And of course, you can join any of those. Again, this is all up to you, right? We will not tell you to join any of these organizations. You have to, find those. We will give you the links and resources that you need to find those organizations, but then you have to, join them and show interest. Yes, we have, there are hackathons in Brown as well. You can join those as well. So yeah, I would say, student life is pretty good here. Students usually live in the student housings that are offered at Brown, so they are within walking distance from campus, which makes things super easy. There are plenty of restaurants, cafes in the area, so I think it's a very pleasant and very walkable neighborhood around campus.
Great. And do we have an estimated cohort size for the 2026 cohort?
Very good question. Not really. We usually, in the past, we aimed for maybe 40, 50 students per cohort. So we try to keep the cohort relatively small. Um, it's really difficult to predict what the course size is going to be. Lots of things influence it, but that's usually what we aim for, 40, 50, maybe a bit more if the applicant pool is large enough. We'll just have to see.
Great. And then can we take classes from RISD or Harvard for the elective?
Yes, yes, you can. Yes, there are some limitations on this. One limitation is that if you want to take a course at a different university, so RISD and Harvard is where we have agreements with, so you can, those are the two universities where you can take courses. So RISD is the Rhode Island School of Design, which is in Providence, walking distance from Brown, and then Harvard, I assume all of you know. And so, what happens here is that if you want to take a course at these universities in your final term, right before graduation, that is not allowed. And the reason for that is that the grades from these universities come in later than the grades at Brown. So if you were to take a course at Harvard in your final term, you would not be able to graduate on time. So I don't allow cross-registration in your final academic term right before graduation. Before that, it's fine, and you can go to these courses. There is a machine learning operations course at Harvard, which is very popular with our students. If you want to take a different course, I will ask you to send me a short justification, check whether there are similar courses offered at Brown. So the idea is that, if you want to take a computer vision course at Harvard, I will probably say no to that because we have a computer vision course at Brown, so you should take that. Traveling to Boston from Providence is difficult. It's a different university. I have no idea how things work over there. I cannot help you if anything happens at Harvard. So we always prefer that you take courses at Brown. But if you find a course, a topic, which is not offered at Brown, but it is offered at RISD or Harvard, I usually approve those cross registrations.
Awesome, thank you. And then I had one other question that had been pre-submitted, and they were wondering about the what collaboration opportunities there are to collaborate with faculty members, but also other students.
Yeah, again, this needs to be self-motivated, self-organized, right? You will organically work with other students because most of our final projects are team-based, right? So I think that's just naturally will occur. For research opportunities, as I said, it's best if you reach out to faculty. Having said that, if a faculty reaches out to us, saying that they have this topic, this research opportunity, we will advertise that. We will send an email out to all the master students. We have a mailing list for all the master students, and then you will see those opportunities and you can apply for those. But again, it's best to be proactive about these things. That's people always love if faculty always love if a student comes to me and say, "Oh, I really want to work with you." That means a great initiative, great motivation. That's always the best way to go.
Great. So our next person has submitted 3 questions. I'm just going to do them one at a time. I don't have a research background. Would that affect my chances?
Nope, not at all. It's not a requirement. It's optional.
Okay. And then I have perfect grades in the prereqs. However, my overall GPA is not elite. Should I still apply?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We don't care about your overall GPA, right? I mean, that will probably be on your transcript, but what we mostly check is your grades in the prerequisite courses. It often happens that, especially in undergrad, you have like a double concentration, right? And it's very clear to us from your grades that you really liked one concentration, but you didn't really like the other concentration. And you know, we mostly care about your prerequisite courses. So even if your GPA is not great, but your grades in linear algebra, calculus, statistics are good, of course, yes, apply.
Great. And then is the GRE just optional or completely not accepted?
It is ignored. We don't even check the number. Yeah.
All right. Our next question, how does it work for international students taking courses at two universities at once?
Um, it works really great. As I said, we have agreements with these universities. You will have on your transcript a temporary zero credit course during the term, and OISSS and the registrar knows that these are cross-registered courses. And when the grade comes in from the other university, that's when it will be converted into a full credit course. The system is pretty smooth. Students in the program have been taking courses at Harvard quite frequently. We also had a couple of students who took the elective at RISD, and there are no issues. The only issue is that the grades from these universities come in a bit later than at Brown. Other than that, it's all fine.
Um, is there any advanced coursework on reinforcement learning in DSI?
Mhm. No, not even at Brown, which is very surprising. We don't have a course on reinforcement learning. So if you find one at Harvard, for example, that would be a cross-registration that I would be more than happy to approve.
And then, forgive me if we've already covered this, but someone was interested in seeing capstone projects from years before.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wanted to talk about it. Yes. I don't think we have those on the website, but I can give you a couple of examples right now. One of our industry collaborators, Industry Connections, is Citizens Bank. And so they come here every summer, I think, to do capstone projects with our students. It's usually about fraud detection in credit card transactions. So it's a highly imbalanced classification problem. It's a huge data set. I mean, they have literally billions of transactions to work with. So those are the kind of the challenges with this kind of projects. Um, we also source academic research projects. For example, I think last year, maybe 2 years ago, we had a student who worked with a deep learning team to differentiate real videos from deep fake videos. So again, a classification problem using deep learning techniques, which again was, I think, an awesome project. We had a student who worked with a company that had an app which drivers would have on while they drive around. So the app would take videos of the road, and I think the project of the student was to better identify the lanes on the road, develop better, more accurate models for that. So it can be very varied from finance and healthcare and computer vision and whatever you would like. Basically, there are always many options.
Great. We're still getting quite a few questions, and I'm typing some answers up as well.
Mhm.
Are there any other positions other than research assistant that would qualify for no CPT at Brown? And would that help F1 students for their tuition since there are no scholarships?
Uh, Actually, I don't know. I mean, any kind of position that is paid by Brown, no CPT is required, and most often it's a research assistant position. But there might be other kind of job titles that you could consider. TA also no visa required, but that's also paid position. So that might be another example. Um, are there general university grants or funding we can apply for and eligible for. I don't know. Is there something at SPS, Bryce? Do you know?
It's not.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you consider AP calculus to fulfill the calculus prerequisite?
AP Calculus, is that high school?
Yes, that's the advanced placement high school.
No. We want to see university courses.
Okay. Maria, I see you typing, but can we still submit the GRE if we took it and scored highly?
I mean, you can submit it. It's not part of our evaluation process.
Okay. And then I have multiple research projects, but I don't have much tech background in learning. Would this be suitable for the program?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Research experience is great. As I said in the alumni outcomes, more and more our students decide to do a PhD after completing the master's program. So research experience is perfect for that. Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Well,
Can I ask a quick question, Andras?
Yeah, go ahead.
The question about the AP calculus made me think of, because I know often students are asking because if their college only requires X amount of calculus and AP has filled that, then they're like, what do I do? Could you talk a bit about and if you already did in the info session, I apologize. Could you talk a bit about the part of the application where we ask students to list out which courses on their transcript, maybe even if they're not called calculus, cover calculus and stuff like that?
Yes. So when you apply for the program, you will see we have a couple of program-specific questions. So we will ask you to list all the courses and the grades you received in calculus and linear algebra and statistics. So if you took a course where calculus topics were covered, but it was not called calculus, then you can let us know in that field, and also let us know, what kind of topics were covered in that course, and we will take a look at it, and that's how we will evaluate. It happens quite often that maybe in economics, I think is a good example, that you take courses that cover calculus topics, but it's called something else, right? And that's fine. Just let us know in the program specific question that that's the case.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It looks like we have answered all of the questions. So if we want to move to the next slide, that just shows our contact information. If you do have any other questions after, Andres, did you have one more question if you would like to?
Oh yeah, it's about a pathway from completing the master's at Brown to applying to PhD programs within Brown as well. Will there be any exception cases during admissions for both acceptance and scholarships? So I'm not sure, because that depends on the PhD programs, and I cannot speak for the PhD programs, but what I can tell you is that you will spend 2 years, maybe 12 to 24 months at Brown. If you know that you want to do a PhD here, and you know in which department that PhD will likely be, do an RA position with them. Get to know them. You have so much time to do that. And when you apply, they will already know you, and that will give you a huge advantage in the admission process. That's the best thing you can do. When you say you only care about the grades in prerequisites, do you care if they have taken a course twice and received a failing grade the first time and A minus the second try? We will definitely see that you got a failing grade first. I don't remember how we scored that, but if you got an A minus the second try, I think that's going to be fine. In this case, I think you should mention what happened in that term when you failed the course. What was going on in your life that made it difficult to focus on your studies? We want to know these kind of things. The better we understand you and your circumstances, the better we can decide on the application. Typical acceptance rate. Ha! It changes a lot year over year. I want to say it's around 10 to 30% with the pretty, variations from year over year. That's usually what we have, 10 to 30%.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone who joined us, and to Andres and Maria for the time today. This was a great session, so thank you all for your participation. And we are looking forward to hearing from you all. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Bye. Nice to see you all.
Thank you.
Bye.